Hi there. Today we are going to learn about a secondary purpose of the Portuguese acute accent, besides being a stress mark. In English, we sometimes use a mark called diaresis, which are two little dots over a vowel. The dots tell us that this vowel is pronounced as a separate syllable from the previous vowel. You'll see it in older spellings like naïve, coöperate, or re-examine. Of course, nowadays we usually write it differently. Naïve, coöperate, or cooperate, and re-examine. But the point in this session is that a mark can tell us to split two vowels into separate syllables. Otherwise, the word might sound different. For example, in cooperation, the COO help us say co-op instead of coop. Now, let's look at Portuguese. Here, an acute accent is normally used to show stress, as in matemática or José, but the acute accent can also be used like the diaresis to break two vowels apart, creating what we call a hiatus. For example, in the Portuguese version of naïve, we call attention to the syllable separation by adding an acute accent to I. Naïve. Naïve. So take my last name as another example, Araújo. It breaks down as Araújo. Without the accent on U, the AU would merge into a diphthong and the stress would fall on the A, Araújo. So the accent forces us to pause, Araújo. Here, the acute accent does two things at once. It separates the vowels and marks the stress. In the US, people often pronounce my name as Araújo, which is the sound my kids grew up with. But in Portuguese, that little accent makes all the difference because my real name is Au, not U. Let's look at a few more examples. País, country. País, two syllables. Compare it with País, parents. País. Same spelling, different sound. In País, parents, we have a diphthong, I, and therefore a single syllable, País, where the stress is on A, while I acts as a gliding sound, I, pai. But in País, country, there are two syllables, País. Let's look at a few more examples, just to clear up. Saída, three syllables, saída, not saída, but saída. Saúde, health, saúde. Juiz, judge, juiz. Ruído, noise, ruído, not ruído, ruído. Cafeína, caffeine, cafeína. Miúdo, kid, miúdo. And aí, there, where you are located, aí, aí. Without the accent, would sound like I, which is a single syllable, and it means ouch, I, ouch. So in summary, in the last session we learned how diphthongs place stress on the first vowel, while the second vowel acts as a glide, like in vai, which is just one syllable. If, however, we added an acute accent on I, we would conceptually break into two syllables, like vai. That word doesn't exist, of course, it's just to illustrate the idea. We also looked at other diphthongs in the last session, mais, sai, ai, eu, ui, and fui. In this current session, we've seen how some words use the acute accent to separate vowels into distinct syllables, creating a hiatus. Examples include sai versus saí. Sai is the third-person present tense of the verb sair, which is to leave, while saí is the preterite perfect of the same verb, and, of course, two syllables, saí. Another example, rainha. Here, the I becomes its own syllable, rainha, queen, instead of rainha, rainha. And, of course, Araújo, Araújo. I'll see you on the next session, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much.